New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Hello, dear ones. Rev Z here with New Thought today. My co-host, Reverend BRZ, is on the road coming back from the East Coast. He spent the weekend marrying his brother. So that was the New Thought, I guess. And but today, I am so honored to have Reverend Linda McLeod here with me today. We've been in the green room, and before we jumped on, just comparing notes, and we both worked on the space shuttle program. We kind of dating ourselves. I hate to do that, but it is what it is. And so we're just so glad to be here. As you know, New Thought Today is a program that happens every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Mountain Time, where we explore the past, present, and the future of New Thought. And so today we have, as I said, Reverend Linda here. And so I'm just going to let her introduce herself so I don't miss no high points. And we're going to get right to it. Reverend Linda, welcome. Glad you're here.
Well, thank you. I'm Reverend Linda McLeod. I graduated from Unity Urban Ministerial School in 2018 as a minister, and graduated from, actually ordained by Unity Worldwide Ministries June of 2019. It was an awesome experience. We were just talking. I graduated from Tuskegee University. At the time, it was Tuskegee Institute with a Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering, and then worked for Honeywell and IBM for, I won't say how long, 35 years, almost 40, but it was such a experience. I have a daughter that's 30, beautiful young lady. I've been involved in New Thought for over 30 years, and it's been an experience for me to explore New Thought as a possibility. I live in Florida, and as we stated, I started on the path, Unity on the Path retreat ministry in July of 2021. And it was really interesting how quickly it came to pass. I am the current pastoral current administrator at Unity Temple of True Church in St. Petersburg, Florida. And I am also the treasurer for People of African Descent New Thought Group. And it is an awesome experience to be involved with the People of African Descent New Thought. And we're planning a conference in August of 2022, August 11th through the 14th. And that's been a exciting journey. So I'm here and about and enjoying life after retirement, believe it or not. But yeah, I am very excited about the journey that I'm on today. You know, I grew up in South Alabama. I always say I grew up in Alabama. I grew up in South Alabama near Dothan, Enterprise, Eufaula, Alabama, Ozark, way out in the country. I always tell people we lived in the country. There was no stores, no cities. The closest city was 12 miles away, and the closest store was over 7. So we farmed, and one of the things I like to tell people, it's funny because we grew up as preachers' children, even though we weren't. So everybody in the community watched us and made sure that we stayed out of trouble. So it's been a journey growing up in South Alabama, doing the civil rights movement, and then going to a historically Black university, working in corporate America in the engineering field. A lot of experiences there. And then,
well, there's so many connections as you just introduce yourself, because I also went to HBCU, probably one of the biggest rivalries back there when we were going at Florida A&M University. And then I'm from Tallahassee, which is in that little, I'm like a hour and change from Dothan and about 45 minutes from Georgia. So Tallahassee has that Florida, Georgia, Alabama twang thing going on. So we are right there together. And I heard you say you started your retreat ministry in 2018, and I can only just imagine what that must have been like to get everything started and be well on the way. And then the pandemic hit and it gave us a chance to really put those new thought ideas and principles in practice. So I love to hear, how that was to get everything started and moving forward with the retreat ministry that was giving everyone a chance to go within and prepare and to deal with what's going on.
Yes. It's interesting. I used to do retreats a long time ago, but I always had an organization to back me up, either my church or my sorority or something. And so some friends wanted to do a retreat. And I said, okay. So I started calling around and they said, what organization? I said, me. And they go, great and wonderful. What kind of insurance do you have? None. And so I started down the path of looking at, starting an organization, and I was going to do an LLC. And I thought, well, I'm not doing this to make a lot of money. Let's go nonprofit. Mm-hmm. And then next situation was for nonprofits. I had Unity Worldwide Ministries. If you are a ordained current minister, they will help you start your own ministry. No. And Unity is called Alternative, and CSL, Centers for Conscious Living, is called Focus Ministries. Yes. And so it was interesting because coming out of the pandemic, we're not out of it yet, but to have a retreat, where people could come, and I called it back. My first one was called Back to Earth. And it was, let's get back to reality. Let's go touch the earth and get in connection with the earth and release some of that tension and the fear and stress of being at home for 2 years. And also the awareness of how can we come back together in unity and enjoy being in this space called now. Yeah. So yeah, it was a opportune time to start a ministry.
Yeah. And I love this conversation because, one of the things we focus on New Thought today is just that. How do all of the different organizations and modalities of New Thought come together and present the teachings, the philosophy, the tools to set a stage for us to have a more aware or more earthy, as you said, more grounded way of living, so that we can not only help ourselves, but be an example to others to how we celebrate life and how we engage in so-called good times and so-called bad times. And we all know it's just time. And depending on which position you are in it, you may call it, it may have 1,000 names for it. But that is so great in terms of fitting in with what we're doing here. And then the key thing that we want to focus on here today, I think, is the conference Celebrating Our Soul, as you mentioned, that's coming up in August 12th. I think it's 12th through the 14th, if I'm not mistaken.
11th through the 14th.
11th through the 14th. And Could you tell us a little bit about that? I think it's going to be a great event, and I'm looking forward to it.
I'm really excited. Just a little bit of history of how we got started. We were at a Unity conference about 2019, because I just graduated from ministerial school. And we were saying, wow, wouldn't it be nice if we could just get all of us dark-skinned people, actually people of color, together. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we kind of talked about it and looked at possibilities. Then we walked away. And about 6 months later, I got a call from someone that says, you're on a committee to start a conference in sometime in the future. I'm like, what? And so all of a sudden it became a New Thought Conference, which was very, very powerful for all of the major organizations to come together and to think about how we could work together as a team. So we had Unity team. We had the Unity Urban Ministerial School. We had Johnny Coleman. We have Universal Foundation for Better Living, Agape, and Hillside out of Atlanta, CSL. And we really looked at what would a New Thought Conference look like, and what, when, who, and we really looked at how we would put it together. The first thing was it would be all created and managed by people of African descent, which was kind of scary at first, but we thought, wow, what would an organization look like where we had only people who pulled it together of African descent? The next step was the presenters. Who would the presenters be? Who would the musicians be? And that again was all New Thought people of African descent. Next step was, is it going to be open for everybody or just people of African descent? And the next statement was, we wanted to be open to anybody that wanted to come and attend this event. So we started, and you know, we had the storming, norming, and performing process. I think the first year was a lot of work, learning how to work together and see this as a potential possibility. I mean, you think about it, you know, you're thinking about getting several New Thought organizations, people from all over the world coming together to put together a conference created by, performed by people of African descent.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now, how do you get these people?
Right.
And who knows who? And so that was the next piece of it, was how important it was to go to the top of the organizations and ask, who are your leaders? And are they willing to come together in a New Thought Conference that included all of us? Yeah. And they all said yes. They all said yes. Nobody questioned it. I mean, Michael Beckwith, Derek Wells, Sheila McKeithen, Sylvia Sumter, Celeste Frazier. I mean, just go down the list. Right. And these people said, yes, we'll do it. And they were willing to share their time and energy with us for for that week in. And then looking at the topics, people questions, well, what kind of topics are we going to have? And we went towards the idea of from slavery, from Africa to celebration, covering the time frame. The idea is our spiritual roots. Where did our roots start? Where did the idea of spirituality actually start? And how we maintain that spirituality and that consciousness through all of our history. And so Africa, slavery, Harlem Renaissance, civil rights, and then celebration.
Yes.
Where are we today? It's not that we've made it, but we've thrived in an environment that have created a environment that, I mean, you went to HBCU. I went to an HBCU, historically Black university, where the idea was, here it is, we can train, educate Black people to go out in the world and be successful. And so that's what this energy is about, is reminding us of where we came from, where we are, and the roots of our spirituality. And that is the powerful journey that we're on, is our roots, our spirituality. So,
well, and that's, and before I go any further, I'm going to share, and I'll share this again for the audience, but I'm going to share a little advertisement so you can see the lineup of what we got going on here. So just hold 1 second, everybody. Here we go. Woo! Yes.
wow. Yes.
So if for those who are watching, I mean, if you could just look at that lineup covering all aspects of keynote speakers, workshops, youth activities, and music, this is something that you want to be at. If you are a person of color, and let's just be clear, it's not only for people of color, it's for all New Thought ministers, practitioners, lay people, pick a title, whatever it is, it's open to everybody. But as Reverend Linda said, the key is this is a conference that is focusing on the roots, if you will, of New Thought from a African-American, African traditional background that is, as they say, owned and operated by people of color. And so there will be a true African village environment with shops and conversations and drumming. And I mean, it will be an experience of the African American experience. And so we invite everyone to come. I'm going to be performing a workshop, and Reverend Linda's going to be working with our youth, and she's part of the founding team and director of orchestrating all these things. And so it's going to be exciting. And just to let you know, we're going to have a number of the presenters here. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to check my date. On the 24th of this month, Reverend Beckwith will be here on this show talking about his experience, of course, and what he sees coming out of the conference and how important it is. And so we're excited. We're excited. And so I'm just gonna, open and say, if you're not already registered, please get registered and come and join us. So Reverend Linda, tell us about a couple of the keynote speakers that are coming, because they're powerful. I know Reverend Michael is going to be there, and there are a bunch of others.
Reverend Sylvia Sumter out of Unity. She has the largest Black church, Unity Church in the DC area, which is very powerful. She talks about when she first started as a minister in a Black church, and how the men were like, I don't know about this. And to get to a place where she said they really started to respect who she was and what she brought to the table. And that's very powerful. Derek Wells, he's at the Temple, Johnny Coleman's church out of Chicago. The story, people say, well, Johnny Coleman, she came out of Unity. She was the first Black person, people of color, to live on campus. And she came in one day in the rain. She had walked from her living quarters off campus to campus, and she threw her hat in and said, I'm going home. I can't do this anymore. And they said, well, what's the problem? She says, I had to walk so many miles to get to campus in the rain to get to class. And she says, I'm finished. And her classmates says, no way. You will live on campus. Yeah. And they said, if you go home, we all go home. Can you imagine that? This is 1955. Wow.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And they said, the Unity Village opened up a cottage for her on campus. And so that's the history. And she started her own independent Unity Church. And it has, created thousands of ministers through Universal Foundation for Better Living, which is her ministry. And it's interesting when you talk to all of them, any Unity or a New Thought person, and we all read the same books.
Right.
We all read the same books. And so it's like we're all New Thought. You read Ernest Holmes, you read Charles Fillmore, you read any of the books all the way back, and you're like, wow, that is New Thought. I love New Thought. I have, and so to have these speakers come and share their experience and how they have moved through the movement to create the organizations that they've created. A lot of people don't know about Hillside. Hillside is out of Atlanta. It was started by Dr. Reverend Barbara King, who also came out of Unity. And her story is fascinating too. She gave the keynote speech at the World Religions Conference. I think it was in the last time they had one. And that was where New Thought was recognized as a world religion. And so she died 2 years ago. But to have that person, and she was they said she was tall and just very royal in her approach and her walking and her talking. And it's like, wow. So out of her ministries, Hillside, and the CEO of that now is Beaumont. And Jack Beaumont. And he's, these ministers and these teachers, the legacy that they're bringing forth is such a powerful thing. I didn't know, I knew about Hillside, I knew about Johnny Coleman, and CSL, but we're going to have the workshop is going to talk about the Blacks who had major influence in the initial teachings of New Thought in our era. And it's like, wow, I didn't even know those people were out there. I knew a few from Unity, but to realize, and that's what this conference is helping us realize, is that this movement has captured Black souls and brought us into a new way of being, that we can acknowledge our roots, Africa. Look at the shift in movement and how that has been constant in our our lives.
Yes.
Throughout all of history.
And it's when we think back, I think back when I was growing up, I know a lot of the audience may remember, and if you don't, it'd be worth going streaming it somewhere. Touched by an Angel with Della Reese, and Della Reese was a New Thought minister, and as well as some of you that know O.C. Smith. The singer O.C. Smith. O.C. Smith was also a New Thought minister. There's so many in history, and I won't steal any thunder. You got to come to the conference to get all those gems to see that New Thought in the African American community, no matter what flavor, if you will, it took, has always been there to take our deep spiritual roots that for the most part, when we came here, was steeped in Christianity. But as we begin to experience Christianity and the way it was taught to us, we begin to, as a people, begin to think there's other ways of articulating our relationship to the divine and how we interact to the prophetic teachings that have come down through the years. And New Thought is a way of presenting those ideas in a way that's in my mind non-threatening, non-judgmental, and they present a way of living in a spiritual container that if no matter how you want to practice your religion, i.e. your rituals and things of that nature, the idea of spiritual living and the principles that bind us all are taught right here, and they will be on display at this conference. And so we're looking forward to that. So what I want to do right now, I want to take a little break, give Linda and myself here a chance to get a glass of water, and I just want to thank some of the donors to this station that gives us the opportunity to have this kind of program and support Celebrating Our Soul. So hang on just about 1 minute and 30 seconds to thank some of our donators, and we'll be right back with New Thought Today.
Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, for your continued support. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown Atlanta, for your monthly contribution. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, for your monthly contribution. And please help us welcome Om Center for Spiritual Living in La Mesa, California. Thank you for your monthly donation. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, for your most generous donation. And a special thanks to Hefferlin Foundation for your generous technology grant. And Suze Ajit, thank you for your very generous donation. And a super special thank you to Dr. Tracy Brown, RSCP. Thanks for being a super donor. And a big shout out to all our committed donors.
Thank you, everyone. We're back, and we're here today with Reverend Linda McLeod down in my home state of sunny Florida, and I'm out here in Colorado. Although the weather's nice today, we're up in the 67, 68. We're supposed to get up around 70 something today, so not quite Florida weather, but some good weather just the same. And just want to real quick put this up on the path. Unity on the Path is Reverend Linda's site for her ministry, or one of her ministries. She's got a lot of things going on, but go there and check it out. And we'll leave it there scrolling for a little while and let you write that down if you need to, or whatever it takes for you to get in touch with her and see what she's doing down there in sunny Florida, as we used to say, where the sun shines almost every day. And so that brings us back to, we are going to shine here. What we're doing today is shining some light on Celebrating Our Soul, a conference that's going to be August 11th to the 14th in Unity Village in Kansas City. There's still plenty of time. The early bird just ended a few weeks ago, but there's still plenty of time for you to register and look at what's going on and just come and be a part of everything. We're hoping that you come and join us, because we know it's going to be a celebration that that will be remembered for a very long time. And so, Reverend Linda, tell us a little bit about what's going to be there for the young people, for the kids and the young people. We hope for people to bring their families and kids, so let them know what's going to be there for them.
Wow, the youth piece is going to be awesome. We have a Bebop Tree. I had never heard of Bebop Tree. I've learned so much in this. It's an African tree. It's a wisdom tree. And so the Africans used to sit under this tree when they needed wisdom. And so we're going to have a Bebop Tree for the kids. They can sit on it and get wisdom. We're going to have some activities for them to create their name, a naming ceremony. They can keep their same name, but go inside and really get in touch with who they are, and then let that show up as a name or a word. That's going to be exciting. John Stringer. Oh, wow. Yeah, musician. John Stringer is one of my favorites. He's going to be doing a song with the kids. They will be writing the words and the music to a song that will be presented at the conference. Before they leave, these young people will get to sing, dance, and present this song in whatever message they choose to do that. They'll have nature walks. They have a place to teachers teaching different topics, just like the adults. They have workshops and activities. The idea is for the youth to really engage in this process of unity and new thought, and to be together in a common arena and sharing that from different perspectives. I just like the adults. The only reason we know that we're separate is because we say we're separate, but to be able to come together in unity without that separation is going to be exciting. Reverend Jerry Hobby is the lead for that. And she's been working with a team of 7 people to really pull this together. And this team is really diverse as far as the centers. So CSL, Unity, Universal Foundation for Better Living, and just that team that's pulling together, working in the I won't say the best, but one of the fun part of this is coming together as a team and seeing it. To have this idea and to actually see it in manifestation is such a powerful aspect of this whole process. If you'd asked me 5 years ago, we're going to have a group of Unity people with some CSL people, and who are those other people? And we're going to come together, we're going to create, and this is it, groundbreaking. This has never been done in the history of New Thought, where you bring in, and one of the things that a lot of the people have said is people of like-mindedness. I'm going to say this, most communities does not have a large population of Blacks inside of any of these communities. Well, see, Johnny Coleman and Hillside. But the rest of these communities, CSL churches around the world, there's very few African Americans or people of African descent. My church, I was there for almost 30 years, and there was very few of us that showed up on a Sunday. And now more and more people are hearing about this, and this conference is going to give us some tools to reach out, touch our children, touch our adults, and bring about a common thread of what this new thought process is. So people ask me, what is new thought, Linda? And I say, according to Charles Fillmore, is that you're going down a path and then you have a new thought and that shifts your life, you know.
Yeah. And, you know, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I think when I look at today in terms of the youth, and I look at, you know, May is Mental Health Month. And I look at a lot of the challenges our young people are facing. I mean, old people were quite frankly faced with them as well, but it's really affecting our young people who've been locked away or isolated or however you want to term it for the last 2-3 years, depending on when you start counting. The ideas and the teachings of New Thought, no matter what the flavor, I think prepares and gives our youth the tools that they need to overcome these kinds of situations that affect our mental health, and allow them to step forth as leaders. And so I'm looking so much to seeing what the kids present, what the young people, young adults present, how much fun they have, and I think one of the key things is, you know, kids are the ones who go back and spread the word. If they have something that's fun and exciting, they're going to go tell everybody. They're going to tell uncle, auntie, cousin, mother, you know, they're going to tell everybody. And that's what we need. We need to begin to spread this knowledge, these ideas of New Thought, especially in the people of color and specifically of African descent, to let them know that this is a place where you can come and be yourself, feel confident, and walk forward in life, expressing the God-given talents that you have. So I'm excited.
And the youth, you said it, the youth makes the difference. They're the one, you know, you talk about any of the churches that I've been in with, and they say, how did the adults get here? You know, back in the old days, the adults brought the children, but today the children are bringing the adults.
Yes.
And so it's, you know, the youth portion is so important that we have and train our youth in this way of living and this way of life. Just powerful. You know, I appreciate that. I grew up, you know, my mom was a Sunday school teacher, and she made me a Sunday school teacher. And that, you know, the teachers that she taught are still, you know, in my mind, in my consciousness, because for, you know, with my sister and I laugh, we said, she truly was New Thought. Even though she was in her traditional religion, her teachings and her beliefs and her philosophy was rooted in this idea of New Thought. And that's what she taught us. So that's the key to it, is teaching the youth. You know, if we don't teach the youth, we don't move forward in this consciousness.
And that's so true. That's, you know, there's a teach the children and let them lead the way. Because looking at the environment that we're operating in now, the youth are going, you know, I mean, we've created some things here, but the youth are the ones who are going to have to deal with what we've left behind.
Ooh,
and so I think, since I'll say for myself, I'll take my ownership of what I helped create for this situation. Now is the time for us to equip the kids, the young people, the teenagers, all of them, with the tools, the philosophies, and the ideologies to work through whatever they face. Because we know God has not put burdens on us. He's given us ideas and things to move beyond any difficulty. There's a verse that comes out of the Quran that says, after every difficulty, there is ease. After every difficulty, there is ease. And so what we want to prepare our young people for now is to work through these difficult times, knowing that there is ease on the other side. There's some celebration, and we're going to start with celebrating our soul and looking at our path to go through some difficult times and still come out standing and producing like we have done in history and we're currently doing now.
You know, what's interesting about what you're saying is one of the lot of the professors are saying is we can't keep teaching kids the way we taught them in the past. We taught children, I'm going to say this, to be conformist because we wanted them to work in factories. We didn't want them to challenge the status quo. We wanted them to go in, do the work, go home, 40 years, get your glass of Kool-Aid in your watch, and everything was good. We can't continue to survive in that environment anymore because the factories are now run by robots. And so, where you had my day when I started, you have 50 to 100 workers working on a project. Now there's 5 or 6. And now those young people getting out of school with skills don't have a place to go and use those. So we got to teach them to think and challenge the status quo so they're in a healthy way. Yes. So that we can create this new world that's coming. The world that we're living in today with all this decisiveness and this wanting to hurt each other is transforming. It doesn't appear that way, but it is transforming. And it's important that we as the leaders in CSL, New Thought, Unity, Hillside, Johnny Coleman, that Agape, that we're training children how to challenge the status quo in a healthy way.
Yes. And the way we do that, I think, or one of the ways we do that, and I think New Thought does it, as good or better than anyone else, is to present new ideas and ways of thinking. It's been said that Einstein says, you're never going to solve the problem at the level of your current thinking or the thinking that created the problem. You have to get outside of that box. And that's what we want to equip our people with, is ways to get beyond the current box that we may find ourselves in, and to have a new thought and to have a new idea and to be steeped in it and to share it. And now I think, one way for us in the African American tradition is, and I'm saving the best for last in some ways, is the music. It's the music that we're going to have there, and we know, if you've ever been to a Black church, and that regardless of denomination, there's no way you can go in there stiff if you want, but by the time that service over, you're going to be patting your foot or shaking your head or clapping your hands, because there's something in the music that rises the spirit. And we got some music at this conference that's going to be outstanding. And I'll let Reverend Linda give us a little bit about that, just to tease us. So again, we want you to come and be a part of it. And so Reverend Linda, you just a little bit about that.
Wow, the music, just recently I signed some contracts so we could have the music.
Yes.
And it was so powerful, the music. I mean, just think about it. On a Thursday night, we're going to have a African troupe that's going to do some drumming and some singing and some dancing that's going to take us into that. Okay, this is Africa, and they will explain some of the movements, which is powerful. And then the Ward Band, wow, musicians. It's interesting. She graduated from FAM. So I was like, wow, that's when I thought about it, I was like, oh wow, he's gonna
Gonna love that.
Yes. So we've heard them go onto our website, padntg.org. He had it up, and they have some music in there of some of the musicians. John Stringer, oh my God, I was the one that introduced them to John Stringer. You're talking about the youth, about before the pandemic, probably 5 or 6 years ago, we were in a youth conference, and John Stringer was the musician for the week, and he did the workshop with the children. And I thought, oh man,
Yeah.
he took us and the kids into a new level of consciousness and awareness. And then he did it with his words and the music. And so that's what's powerful about these musicians. It's not just the music, it's their persona, it's their presentation, it's their energy and their love for what they're doing. And that's more powerful. When you have a musician that really amplifies who they are, and their music is a testament of that. And that's what our musicians are going to be doing. Bukak, I always say her name wrong, please forgive me. Bukeka. They were at the at Unity Village a couple of weeks ago, and she took one of the songs. I think they posted it on the website of her, just the lady playing, and all of a sudden she's into it. And I'm excited about the whole conference. The music, top notch. We've got some really great musicians, a full quartet, so that's powerful. And then each night and each day, they will be providing the music to kick off the conference. And then on, I think it's Friday night, they will be doing a show for us. And again, Africa till today. And so you don't want to miss any of this. The music over the hill, top notch musicians.
So it sounds like, I mean, this is going to be a workshop, keynote speaker, youth extravaganza, intimate music, concert. I mean, it's going to be something there for everyone.
Everybody.
And there's going to be various workshops. I mean, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm going to play this commercial with you one more time so you guys can see what's coming up. Just hold tight. Here we go. And there you go, folk. I hope that's enough to entice you to go to the website, padntg.org. Look at what's going on. Figure out how you're going to be there. As they used to say, be there or be square. We are looking to have a grand time. It could be a great opportunity for families to come before kids start going back to school. That last minute vacation to be supercharged and enthused with a lot of positive teachings and musics and skills to take us through the next year. And so I want to just share here real quick. I want to share Reverend Linda's site. And let me put that up right now. Add that to the screen there, and hopefully you see that. There we go. And so go to her site, check out her ministry. There's a lot going on there. And as that thing, there's a lot of centering and wellness that's being presented through her ministry, through her retreats, and through all of the work that she does, not to mention what she's doing for the conference. So we're really, really looking forward to what's going to happen this week. I mean, during that week in August 11th through the 14th. There's still time to register. Here's that site again, www.padntg.org. Go there. I mean, and throughout the next few months, we will be presenting or having presenters and keynote speakers right here, just like we have Reverend Linda here today, giving you more insight, in-depth, behind the scenes, and looking at what the theme of this program is. What would it be like, or what is it going to be like when we have all of these New Thought organizations come together with all our different touch points and skills and just a whole array of tools to live a more fulfilling and better life? Imagine what that's going to be like.
You know, when you say that, this is groundbreaking. This is the first time that we as a community is coming together. It's going to be a family reunion. We had visioning workshops for about the first year. And one of the things that all of us saw was this family reunion environment. You're going to meet, just today, just meeting Reverend E. I didn't know he was from FAM. That he was from Tallahassee, and then we shared that we both worked on the space shuttle. How exciting is that? Can you imagine meeting people who went to these historical Black universities that came from your hometown that you haven't seen or didn't even know? Maybe they were a little bit older or a little bit younger, but just that whole environment of meeting people from all over the world. We've got people coming from, so far we've got some people from England. I think we got one from Australia. But we're going to get some Africans and some other ones that are going to be there. That's going to be this celebration of our souls, our individual souls will be celebrating. And at the end of the conference, this is the picture that I have, is that last speaker, and the music ends, and it just kind of, and then the quiet.
Yes.
That couple of minutes of quiet that we're like, it can't be over more. And then the hand clapping and the shouting and the praising and when are we going to do it again? When's the next one? When's the next one? So that's that moment when
And as you're saying that, in my mind, what's going through is like for all of you HBCU graduates, if you've gone back to homecoming after not being on the yard for a while, and you go back and there's that palatable buzz that goes on for seeing people you haven't seen and reconnecting and meeting people from different eras at the university. It's going to be that same kind of vibe at the conference where, as Reverend Linda was saying, the just the jubilation, seeing people from your college or from your hometown or from your New Thought tradition or your fraternity or sorority, saying, I didn't know, and it's going to be over the top. So I'm hoping everyone is there, everyone can come and benefit and really, really just have a good time and connect.
Let me say something. People are concerned that they won't be on campus, that the hotel on campus only holds 50 people. So even if you could have registered at the very beginning, the space was 90% taken. But the hotels, we have 7 hotels that are within 30 minutes, 10 to 30 minutes. 5 of them are within 10 minutes. So, and we're going to have shuttles and ways for people to get backwards and forth. So if you've never, it's worth just visiting Unity campus. That is an exciting, the energy there, it's a vortex. So just to be in that space, in that 100 acres of history. So just
spiritual vibration, 100 acres of spiritual vibration.
Yes, it just, the first time I went there was 95 with my daughter, and I'm just like walking on campus. It's Sunday and it's closed, and you're going, oh my God, this is Unity Village, and this is the energy and the feeling and the. We went in the bookstore and we walked around on campus. It was powerful, and I've been there about 5 or 6 times since, and it's a beautiful place to be. The fountain and the rose garden. I think they're going to not have the Johnny Coleman Airbnb completed, but it will be there. And we are hoping to make a nice contribution towards that being completed.
So people join us. I mean, this is going to be as Reverend said, this will be history making. And the idea is that this is only the beginning. We the vision is to have this annually, if possible, and we know it's possible. We just got to get the mechanisms in place so that we can begin to create a new legacy of new thought in the African American and people of color community. It's always been there, but it was not always made known, or people didn't look at it in the same light that we look at it now, because no matter what you look at, whether it's corporate, entertainment, sports, the idea of new thought philosophy has permeated the space in terms of affirmation and meditation and treatments and prayers, and the idea of praying from a idea of already having, these kinds of ideas, and the key one across all, I think, new thought genres, if you will, is change your thinking and change your life.
Amen.
That's what we're promoting.
A new thought.
A new
life.
A new life. And so we want to thank Reverend Linda for being here. Again, running across the bottom there is the Celebrating Our Soul link to go and see what's going on, and more importantly, register. We still got plenty of time. Tomorrow is the 11th of May. You got 3 months to sign up, make reservations, make arrangements so that you could be there. And everything. So we want to thank Reverend Linda for being here. Stay tuned throughout these next 3 months. We're going to have different people in cohorts with the conference. I'm going to take us out. I'm going to play that commercial, if you will, one more time and give some thanks. And Reverend Linda, thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you in the village.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And thank you. And from New Thought Today, thank everyone. We'll see you next week. Peace and blessings.